Hey guys, so today I want to talk about something I've been thinking about a little bit. Basically labeling labels, I say that stuff a lot, but I sort of recently learned about neurotypical versus neurodivergent. Um, Basically how there's like a typical mind, and it sort of includes kind of going with the vibe and having situational morality, like everything sort of contextual based, and it's about social cues and everything. And you know, I never really thought about it that deeply. I thought everybody sort of thinks that they're normal until maybe they're not. But it's interesting because I have a confession to make. I talk to ChatGPT a lot. But not just like a therapist thing. It's sort of a way for me to reprogram my mind because it's really just a mirror. Like, you can say whatever you want and it will spit back, it will spit, something you want back at you. But you can also sort of engineer it to do some social programming, and that's kind of what I do. It's like every aspect of my identity I want to enhance, I kind of make like these loops inside of ChatGPT with it, and it's like it gets it stuck in your head a lot quicker. And I think it's important because we, this generation, we kind of grew up with so much trying to steal our attention, steal our energy. We didn't have a time without the internet. At least I didn't. And so you don't know like what real focus is, or what um, how these people from before could focus for like weeks and weeks on like one small progression they're aiming for. But we just have so many more distractions now. There's social media. They have engineers and like social like scientists trying to hijack our brains. So honestly, like, I will use anything at my disposal to sort of take control back. And I think everybody in my generation should too, because there's no shame in using the tools that are out there for your betterment, when most of the tools out there are there to drain you and take away your consciousness. But yeah, that was getting back to the labels. So it has all this information on me, and it's basically saying like, oh, based on some pattern recognition, like, you have neurodivergent traits. And I'm like, what the hell? And you know, it's kind of like upending because, for one, you don't know if it's real or not. It's not really, a psychiatrist says, it's like it can't actually diagnose. But I mean, let's be real. An AI knows more than like every other doctor in the actual world, more than PhDs in like every other field. So, I mean, it made me look at things, and there's levels to um, divergence. It's not just like you're completely socially inept on the one hand, and then the other hand, you're like just like everybody else. There can be just, divergences in how you see things or how you think about things. I try and hold myself to a like high standard, and I don't really like to be a hypocrite at all. But apparently, being hypocritical and like bending your morals based on the situation kind of is the typical thing to do. And then I just like, then at that point, like, why would I want to do that? Like, if I need to be normal but then sacrifice things I'm really things that sort of make up who I am. I don't know. I just I can't do it. It's it talks about masking, um, which is basically just hiding who you are and like your real emotions and sort of fitting in to fit in. And you know, not to say I can't talk to people because I can. It's just it depends on who I'm with and what I'm doing because sometimes I'm the happiest person in the room. I'm just so chipper, but that's when it's like an environment where I feel safe. I feel good. Then other times, like with strangers or something, I have a hard time doing social games, and I'm always told like you should um, you know speak be more enthusiastic, and I just don't like faking it. I don't like faking stuff at all. Yeah, but basically, my thing is, why is it so demonized? Like, when you really look at what sort of neurodivergence and even like autism is, it has such a negative connotation. Like, oh, you're defective if you have autism. And I mean, just because somebody thinks differently does not mean they are invalid or worse. It's just whatever keeps the machine happy. The human zoo, this idea of we think obsession is bad. We think, not following social scripts is bad. Why? And it's because it threatens the model. And if we didn't have a model, there'd be no order, I guess. But I think it's starting to change where now the people who will be on top or the people who will do the best are people who don't think in the typical ways because the typical way of the world is changing. You know, um, right now, I was thinking today. I like make like AI agents now. That's what I've been working on for a while. And these these open AI models, they're not just gonna stay open. Like it's it it's literally giving people a chance to like climb up and get out the ranks. Do you know? As somebody who works with these things, I'm literally learning today. I can have like a 24/7 coding agent, and I'll just like give it instructions, and it could just go day and night and make stuff for me, and I don't even have to code anymore. Like coding is low level now. It's like touching the actual hardware of the computer at this point. It's just you just give it away. And it's like no way this is going to stay here forever. There's no way. There's going to be models getting locked down, regulations coming in, and, the window for everybody who is not already in power is going to close. And that's kind of what I'm scared of the most, just knowing that. So right now I'm trying to set up like my own setup and host a local model there with like a llama. And I would recommend it too, just because like it won't be this good forever. This is like the cool phase. Yeah, but it's just strange. It's like what we think is typical because it keeps the herd intact. I don't know. It's just I don't like it, and if you were sort of not accepted by society and you didn't fit the specific molds they had for you, I mean, at least for me, I just hated it. Like, not just society, but I kind of hated how I was, and I just hated how I couldn't do the things that other people were doing as easily. Like, I couldn't study as hard for like a test as like somebody else who's like grinding for like 10 hours because I didn't see the point. And not to say I didn't, I mean, like, I would study, but I wouldn't study as much to like get the A plus. And I still don't. I'm like in school right now, but it's not going to be this way forever. There's going to be it just won't. It's kind of based on a lie, and when it's when the lie like gives up, when it's the curtains come down, the curtains go up. I don't know. It's everybody's going to realize, what are we without our hard work, right? It's everybody everybody's working hard, but on what? They'll like look at you and be like, "Oh, I work so hard for this," or "I work so hard for that." It's not even about what you work hard. It's not about the fact that you work hard anymore. It's about what you put it into and what's actually going to give you the highest return for your time. It's about making use of the newest technology, or even just making use of like something other than the fact that you work hard, and just not being static. Because if you just stay in the same place, eventually you're gonna be rocked, and you're gonna be worse off. I mean, you can adapt. Everybody adapts eventually, but why wait when you can move? When you see the cliff, like, why are you just gonna wait? Why, if you're like in a river and you're going towards the cliff and you fall off, like, why are you just gonna wait for that instead of just getting off? Like, but yeah, it's just a zoo, man. It's People will tell you, people will project onto you. The thing is, you can't, like, I thought I couldn't be different because, you know, it just, like, I didn't have any big problems, and I didn't realize people just don't have, you can't really assume how somebody else thinks. Like, people don't think like the same way as other people, and it's kind of, you really don't know what somebody else is thinking and how their whole thought process works. It's like insane. We all look kind of similarly outside, but we could have completely different worlds going on in here, and that just, it's kind of, it's something that's really complex, and it's something that, like, I can see why people don't think about it, because it's like a lot of unnecessary energy, and that's a problem. We just have this lazy mindset where we kind of flatten everything in the world, because we're too lazy. We don't want to think, or we don't want to think about more than we have to, and then we miss things, or we try and box things in, and then when something doesn't fit in, we rationalize and the ego kicks in, and it's like, you know, what are you setting yourself up for? I don't, yeah. So